Hey, everybody. Welcome back to MUFC versus everybody. Sorry for being just a few moments late there. Just wanted to change the thumbnail for a second. But I'm here now. I know it's a bonus second video of the day. Usually it's been like, one a day, but so much has been popping up in the last couple hours throughout the day that I wanted to make sure I stop by and while I have some time share a little bit of my reactions, what my thoughts are on the news, but also more importantly, as always, to get your reactions, your thoughts, your opinions, your feedback. We're going to jump in today on more of our midfield search, more maybe some surprise center back names, and then talk a little bit about some other things that are going on. So before we do get stuck in, go ahead, don't forget hit that like button for me. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And then make sure you go check out some of the other videos on the channel as well while we've all got some downtime. So let's get stuck in a little bit. So big potential rumors coming out. Could Sofyan Amrabat be sticking around next season? Could he be a United player next season? So according to Tudo Mercado Web, the answer could be yes. We've talked about this a little bit earlier in the live chat. Talked about this a couple times on the channel. Reportedly, Sofyan Amrabat wants to come back to United. He wants to stay here. He wants to be a United player. He likes it here. And it sounds like Fiorentina allegedly want Amrabat's future sorted out quickly. They're reportedly open to either another loan or even selling him for a discounted price. Now, you remember we signed Amrabat on loan ahead that last season. After we chased him for a little while, we were heavily linked with him for a while. We ended up getting him on loan because we don't have the funds. And then there was that 20 million option to buy that we didn't exercise. We let it expire. He's technically a Fiorentina player now. There are some photos of him training that popped up earlier, still rocking his United shorts. Make of that what you will. But the rumored price that Fiorentina are open to now is 12 million euros. So again, almost half, a little more than half of what that option would have been. So remember that, again, like I said, I've mentioned a few times now that if United do Amrabat and we do have to work within the FFP PSR stuff, letting that 20 million option to buy on the loan deal expire and then returning, maybe leaving the door open to come back to Fiorentina to revisit that move at a lower cost could be an option. And that's kind of what the reports are perhaps suggesting right now. I'm not saying that I made it happen, but I'm just saying that I made it happen. But that's kind of what we're looking at. I think that we could actually get him for a discounted price. Now, some people in the live chat, some of the regular subscribers, some of the regular kind of interactors have been pretty vocal that they would like maybe to see Amrabat stick around. He had some really good performances towards the end of the season last year, and he looked pretty good. He had a few shaky moments, but I don't know any player that doesn't, to be honest. So I think that it was a little bit, it's hard to judge him on last season, right? Because he came in and he needed to get up to fitness because we didn't bring him until late in the summer, which I know, surprise, surprise. And then he had to kind of fill in at different positions, left back being one of them, which obviously he's not a left back. And so it was a little bit unfair. I was at that Crystal Palace match where he was kind of playing left back. He was getting exploited a little bit because it's just not his natural position. And you don't begrudge Crystal Palace for exploiting that, but it was on show. A couple times he looked a little shaky. He had some injuries. He was gone at AFCON for a bit and then everything. So and then, but he came back, looked decent, and a lot of people were like, "Where's this guy from? Where'd he come from? Where did this guy even come from?" And so there's an opportunity now if you want to look at some of these rumors. So I know you might be asking yourself, why would Fiorentina sell Amrabat for a discount? Why would they want to sell him for less than what our quoted price was, right? Well, I did do a little bit of digging today, which is why I wanted to pop by and talk to you guys. And I did find out, so Fiorentina are, depending on who you ask, but if you look at what's going on at Fiorentina, they might be in a little bit of a financial stress situation due to the cost of renovations that they're doing to their stadium. So their stadium ownership is a little interesting. So Fiorentina has an owner of the club, but then the city council actually owns the stadium where they play. So the owner actually recently kind of vocalized some of his thoughts on some of this, kind of calling out the city council who own the stadium again. Apparently, they're not seeing eye to eye when it comes to the remodel, the renovations, what each of them wants, like The city council was moving ahead with its plan without consulting and whatnot. It became a big mess. What that's led to is different understandings between the two parties of what the cost would be on Fiorentina Stadium. So all that to say, their owner even came out and said that they're probably going to be on track to lose about 10 to 15 million euros next season alone, just because of the stadium costs. So again, all that to say, they are in need of some cash. They might need to bring in an influx, which means selling some players, maybe even for discounted price if the pressure's on and they don't want to sell. So maybe that could play into this. Maybe that could play into our hands. Maybe we knew a little bit about. If I could dig around for a few minutes online and find it out, you can bet your ass that United have figured that out, and they know. Similar to kind of Everton, when Everton were kind of in financial straits and we were kind of lowballing them for Brentwaite, we know that Fiorentina might need the money. So didn't exercise that 20 mil, let Fiorentina sweat, come back, maybe get Amrabat for a half price. Boom. I think a lot of fans would be happy. Danny B in the live chat. Big up, man. How are you today, my friend? How are things over in Beantown? Good to see you. I know, kind of surprised. I know everyone's like, wait, what? Sean's popping up again. And I am, because a lot of stuff coming up. So would you want us to go back and get Amrabat for a discounted price? Again, what I said, 12 million euros has kind of been the reported discount that Fiorentina are open to. Fiorentina do need money with the stadium renovation. United probably could easily swoop in. Amrabat's already been here. He already knows Ten Hag. We probably have a little bit of a leg up in that option if we want to. I don't think we're sweating it, because obviously we are looking at a lot of midfielders, which we're going to talk about shortly. But let me know your thoughts in the chat. Would you want us to go back for Amrabat? And 10 to 12 million euros could be a bit of a snip in today's market. A lot of people say he could be a good rotation option. If we brought in Amrabat, does that mean you'd want us to maybe sell McTominay and still go for, an Ugarte, a Fofana, someone like that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and in the live chat. So there's been another name that's popped up today as far as United's center back search. It's not a brand new name, but it's a name that we haven't seen in the headlines for a little while, and that is Trevoh Chalobah. Obviously, Chelsea center back. How old is Trevoh Chalobah? I probably should have wrote that down. I just forgot completely to check and see how old he was. If you know off the top of your head, I will be impressed, and you can let me know in the comments, but I'm going to go ahead and look it up real quick. 16. I don't think he's 16. He is 25. He just turned 25 a few weeks ago. So good age, good experience. So he's not been included on Chelsea's preseason tour. He's been left behind. He's pretty much kind of the writings on the wall there, right? You're not in our plans. So United have been linked to him in the past. Reportedly, we can return for him this summer. So this is coming from Ben Jacobs. He just came out in the last few hours today. According to Ben Jacobs, United do still hold a genuine interest in Chalobah. Chelsea reportedly want 25 million pounds, though. That's a lot, in my opinion, to ask for a player that hasn't really played a whole lot last season. You clearly don't want him. Chelsea probably need to balance the books with buying pretty much every player known to man. Chalobah's not that bad. I looked around at some of his numbers in the last couple seasons, and again, context is key. You have to look at what was going on at Chelsea. Chelsea have been in a bit of shambles, but he was actually really, really good under Graham Potter, and he was actually pretty good under Thomas Tuchel. Last season, obviously didn't play that much. Chelsea were a bit of in a rough patch. Nobody really looked good for them. He's a good progressive passer. He's a good carry the ball. He's got good tackle numbers. He was actually in the top 10% in terms of tackles per 90 when Thomas Tuchel was manager. So he's not a bad defender. But again, last season he played only about half as many league matches last season as he did in each of the 2 seasons before that. So it wasn't in Pochettino's plans. Pochettino's not even there anymore. So he doesn't really seem to be in Maresca's plans either. So let me know if you take Chalobah as kind of a good rotation option. I know we're all pretty interested in Tosin Alderweireld, who Chelsea picked up for free as a rotation option, similar age, similar profile. Chalobah does offer good recovery pace. He's good on the ball, good in the tackle, kind of seems like a good snip. I don't think that I would want to pay 25 million for him though, but let me dump into the live chat. Danny B, just over a heat wave, a little cooler today. I think 45.50 for Amrabat. Fofana is most practical. PSG overpriced Ugarte. 45 with add-ons for Ugarte is tops always pay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going anywhere near Ugarte for 70 mil. I think PSG are just trying to spend as little money overall net wise on João Neves as they can, and they're just trying not to sell too many players. But I would not spend 70 million on Ugarte. I like him, but no, I'm not going to do that. Brendan 16. Oh, you were thinking about the Arsenal. Yeah, the what's his face, Obi Martin. Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot on that. Obviously, he would come in and go into the academy probably for the next few years. Let me see how that goes. If he shines, who knows? Maybe he could jump in the match day squad at some point, get some time with the first team on training, maybe travel into Europa League matches here and there. We know that managers do like that with the young players. Danny B 20 with add-ons for Chalobah. He is a solid player and played a key part end season for Poch. Chelsea were way more organized when he came back. Yeah, he's not bad. 25 million is a piss take. I'm not spending 25 million for Chalobah. To be honest, it's just he's not. I don't know. It's hard because you got the Premier League tax, right? It's what it is. I don't want to. Maybe it's just I don't want to give Chelsea that much money. I don't know. I like it if nobody gave Chelsea money and just let them suffer. Let them same with Barcelona. Like, why are people buying Barcelona players? Just let Barcelona they made their bed. Let them lie in it a little bit. Let Todd Boehly sweat. Let Todd Boehly struggle. I don't care. Danny B says get Amrabat and Fofana cheaper, same as money PSG want for. I mean, you could definitely get Amrabat and Fofana. It would be a bit hilarious for us, a bit embarrassing for Milan if we come in and just swoop and yet take another player that Milan are talking to. We already took Xerxes. I mean, if we came in and took Fofana out from underneath them, oh boy, forget about signing anyone from Milan ever in the future. They're going to hate us forever if that's the case, but who knows? But yeah, Danny B says, yeah, get Amrabat, Fofana, like cheaper than Ugarte, lock up that midfield. Would you sell McTominay too, Danny? If that's the option. I mean, you sell McTominay, then you're basically paying for them already, right? That can cover it right there. It's who knows? I mean, as fans, we don't have to look at finances too much in terms of balancing the books and things like that. It's not really our job, and the club should be aggressive, I think, in the transfer market. You got to be careful and you got to do your diligence and do some good recruitment, but I think you should be aggressive. Now, I don't think you need to be Man City aggressive and go blow 100 mil on Jack Grealish, pay that release clause, who, quite frankly, clip me up if you want to. Jack Grealish is a flop, like hands down a flop. He came in his first season at City. I'm pretty sure Fred had more goals than Grealish did his first season at City. He got better second season at City. And then that summer, they bought Doku, and Grealish didn't feature as much, and his numbers suffered again. I mean, it's just Grealish is a 100 million flop, man. And the dude is just drunk. Can he even drive himself anymore? I know he got busted on lockdown for basically a drunken hit and run. Saw photos of him after City's treble getting carried everywhere by his teammates because the guy was just done drunk. I mean, that's embarrassing. I mean, this is a grown man. Like, that's embarrassing. But Danny B says 100. I give McTominay away for free. Oh no, it doesn't sound like you rate McTominay. You know, McTominay is one of those things where I'll criticize him when I see him hiding from the ball, but then he scores and I'll call him McDominate because he causes so many problems in the opposition box. You can't deny that. Like, the guy gets in there and he just creates chaos. That's what he does. It's like when I take my dog to the pet store, and for some reason the pet store just doesn't have a brain, but they put all the big bundled treats, like the biscuits that you can scoop and put in bags. They put them all like at floor level. So my dog comes in and I'm like looking at stuff and I just hear chomp, 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 and it's just chaos. And he's 80 pounds and he's knocking stuff over. I mean, that's McTominay in a nutshell. Danny B says Collier McTominay replacement, Sean. Collier, he's obviously seems like he's about to be the next academy product to kind of come through. I haven't watched enough of him at the academy level. I've only really seen so far. I'm going to go back and watch some of the academy stuff a little bit, but I've only seen him on the preseason tour. He looks like he's got the physicality. He looks like he's got the kind of just the reading of the game. He's a big help dropping back. He does when, like, in the preseason game the other day, he reminded me a lot of Declan Rice at West Ham, or like if you ever watch PSV when Ibrahim Sangare was there, who's at Nottingham Forest now, but just he helps out a lot in and around his own box. He cleans things up. He makes these recoveries. He starts the build up all over again. He's the guy who's there to basically clean up. And I appreciate that in a midfielder in that position. He is a bit rash physically in the tackle. He gave away a lot of fouls, but he's young, so it is what it is. Real good football brain, composure, does the simple things, and that's the trick, man. Like, and that's why, like, and that's probably like when it comes to Harry Maguire, one of my bigger criticisms, because Harry Maguire is not a bad player. He just, I don't know if it's the captaincy or if it's the hype that was getting into his head or what, but he tried to get a little too intricate with a lot of his stuff rather than just do the simple things. Like, Maguire, if you're under pressure and you've got the ball in your own like area, just boot it or just clear it. You don't have to try to control it, try to play it out, try to, like, that's not always on. Your first job as a defender is just clear the danger, get rid of the danger. I don't care what you do with it. So when you try to make things too complicated, too intricate, it can cause problems. You got to build a foundation sometimes, especially when you're struggling a bit in a match. You know, string a few simple passes together, make a few good, tackles, whatever, and then you can build on that. Don't try to make something too complicated. But it sounds like Danny B, it sounds like you've watched a little bit more Collier than I have, so I am going to defer to your better judgment on that one. Like I said, I will, when I get some more time, I am going to go back and watch a couple of the academy matches in full just to see what he's all about. But I am excited just at the prospect of more academy products getting pushed through. Like, I don't want to force it, because I don't think that you should just force it. I think if they're good enough, let's give them a shot. But he does look, he looks like he's there, right? Vibes, man, how you doing? Oh my God, I get to catch you when I'm off of work. Yeah, man, I wasn't planning on doing another one, but a lot of stuff popping up today. So we're talking a little bit about Amrabat so far. We're talking about Trevoh Chalobah. Let me know your thoughts on those guys. On midfielders, we do have some Youssouf Fofana updates. This is coming from Gianluca Di Marzio. Remember, Di Marzio was a big transfer market guy a few years back. He's kind of been replaced a little bit in some regards by like Romano, Ornstein, those guys, but he still pops up now and then. So according to Di Marzio, he has claimed that United and Atletico Madrid have now basically entered the race fully for Fofana, that we kind of swooped in here. Monaco are still demanding around 30 million pounds, though. I think with a year left on Fofana's contract, though, I think this is going to come down to maybe whoever offers the most. Monaco obviously don't want to lose him for free. He's not going to sign a new contract. Apparently, personal terms have already been agreed on a 4-year contract with Milan, but that hasn't stopped us before, as Zurich say. So you never know. I think that I don't think you have to pay that much. But who never knows? In all honesty, it might be like a 30 with a like up to 35 to get out ahead of everyone else to get your foot in the door there. But we'll see. It might just come down to the player's preference right now. But it sounds like some of you guys in the chat, would take Fofana. I would take Fofana. If you want to learn a little bit more about Fofana, again, go check out my wild card signing video. He is in there. Talk a little bit about the fact that he's on his final year, give you a bit of his numbers, his profile. Go check that out. It's not like a deep dive because it's a video with a couple players in it, but go check that out. Vibe saying, so you're saying Amrabat staying. I'm saying Amrabat could be staying according to some outlets. He apparently wants to stay according to reports. We could go back. He could be available for a discount because Fiorentina needs some money. So we could be getting him for much less than the 20 million option to buy that was in his loan, but we'll see. I think that we're looking around at other midfielders before we go back on that, though. But it sounds like some people are open to Amrabat and someone like Fofana, Danny B in particular, because that would be cheaper than Ugarte. So we'll see. I do like Ugarte, though. It's hard to turn down Ugarte. I think he's tailor-made for the league, personally. So, and speaking of Ugarte, Florian Plettenberg, or Plettigol, is reporting that we've also made several unofficial verbal offers for Ugarte to PSG, but they've all been too low. They've all fallen well short of what PSG are looking at. Again, they're looking for like 59 million pounds, around 70 million euros. It's not, I don't think. Again, I don't think he's worth that. I wouldn't want to pay that personally. But according to Plettigol, negotiations are ongoing, as always. So it does sound like we're kind of haggling a little bit, and then once we kind of all come to agreement, an official bid will go in, but we will see how it's going. Danny V says, I like Fofana for that price. You can't beat it. I've had my eyes on him since last year. Yeah, I think Fofana is. I mean, it was kind of a buyer's market for center backs. It's kind of turning into a bit of a buyer's market for midfielders. Obviously, Amadou Onana is now off the market. He just joined Aston Villa. Aston Villa did kind of, in my opinion, get rid of one of their better players in Douglas Luiz. I don't know if Boubacar Kamara, when his return is expected. I liked Boubacar Kamara when he was at Marseille. He was one, like, he was available on a free. He was one that I really wanted United to look at. We needed a defensive midfielder. Went to Aston Villa. Struggled a little bit his first season. Last season he looked really good till he got his injury, but it is what it is. But it does sound like our top priority as far as midfield goes right now is Ugarte. We are haggling. We are trying to get that price down to where we could. It does sound like we're keeping our options open, though, in terms of maybe swooping in for Fofana. And obviously, you know, as the reports came out earlier, Amrabat could still be an option. Danny B, Ugarte and Fofana will be fired. Maybe we get Ugarte with an obligation to buy because of FFP. Kamara is a baller. Yeah, come on, man. Kamara, he's so good. He was captaining that Marseille side when he was a teenager. It was like Ruben Neves kind of was when he was younger too. I really liked Kamara. So sticking with Plettigol though, Plettenberg, he's reporting. He's got some comments here on our center back hunt, specifically Matthias de Ligt. So he's reporting that our offer for Matthias de Ligt is less than 33 million pounds. Bayern Munich are holding firm to a price of 42 million plus bonuses, though. So we'll keep an eye on this one, but it does sound like, kind of like Ugarte, the two parties are still far apart in their valuations of a player, what each one is willing to take, what each one is willing to spend. Again, go check out my video on de Ligt if you haven't yet. If you want to learn a little bit more about his numbers, his profile, his injuries, which I've not been shy about sharing my feelings about, go check out that video on that deep dive to learn a little bit about that. We do have some potential news today regarding outgoings, though. So word on the street is that Panathinaikos, Greek club, are interested in Facundo Pellistri. Pellistri's agent has also mentioned recently in an interview that two clubs are actually interested in Pellistri. So one Panathinaikos, but the other is Real Valladolid, Spanish club. According to these rumors, talks are ongoing with the Greek club, but a move to Greece is not necessarily what Pellistri's top choice would be. He's 22 years old now, though. He really needs to be playing regular first-team football somewhere for his career, just for anything. Like, we can't afford to keep carrying these, these players in their, early 20s. Like, at that point, we really should know what you're all about, whether or not you're cut out for stuff. And I've not ever seen enough. Like, you get something from Pellistri and Bright Sparks. His mindset is right. Like, he knows what he needs to do as a winger. I've just never seen quite enough from him, and he's gone on loan so many times. Deportivo Alaves, he was at Granada, I think, last season too. He didn't have a bad Copa America. If you guys have watched Uruguay at all, he was actually immense against Bolivia. He had a goal, he provided an assist, his passing numbers are great. He had a really good game against Bolivia, and so that's good for us if we're looking to sell, right? And obviously we've got some clubs that are interested. I think we did pay like $9 million for him though when we got him, so maybe we overpaid a little bit. That was that same summer we got Diallo as well. So who knows what we'll get? I doubt it's going to be anywhere near that though. If we're getting 500K for Donny Van de Beek, we're not going to get what we paid for Pellistri. So Danny says we should at least be getting 15 to 20 for Pellistri. You think we're getting that much? I doubt it, man. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're like going what you're talking about. I'm just saying, like, we paid 30 some odd million for Donny Van de Beek, which at the time, quite frankly, was a bargain, and we got rid of him for less than $1 million. Like, that's embarrassing. Maybe Ineos are going to handle things a little differently, but I think that with Pellistri, it was only good for us that he had a decent Copa America. It's good for us that a few clubs are interested in him. Hopefully, we'll see. He needs just, whether this is the move or this is like the move before the big move, he needs an opportunity to show what he's all about and to play regularly in the first team, just to give us an idea. So it's going to be best for him to go ahead and move. His agent hasn't been shy about that in the past. He mentioned, like, in Ten Hag's first season, or maybe it was last winter or something, that he needs to leave basically. So it is what it is. It didn't work out. I'm not going to stress about it. And we've been, we have a lot of wingers on the books. Who knows what's going to happen with some of these wingers? Obviously, we talked a little bit about Sancho earlier. I don't know what's going on. We were linked with Desiree Doué for a while, but now it looks like he's going to Bayern for like 50 some odd million, which is crazy to me that they're paying. They just bought Elise, and now he might be going to, like, they might be getting Doué for that. That's insane. That's the game is gone at this point when it comes to these prices. And I wanted to wrap it up real quick. Did you guys see some of the photos and some of the short clips that have been coming out from the renovated players entrance, the tunnel at Old Trafford? It's like in the corner near the Stretford end. Remember a few weeks ago, I did share some news that whole tunnel was getting renovated. They were kind of painting it and stuff, and it looks like it's pretty much complete now. It looks pretty sick if you haven't seen it yet. I'm not gonna lie. So before, one wall is white, one wall is red. The ceiling, I forget what the ceiling was, but like now everything is the walls are red. The ceiling is black. So everything's really dark, really kind of cool looking. And then you saw this dark tunnel. You're looking out into the bright lights of the stadium itself. But there are like track lights on the ceiling. A couple of them are in like a zigzag, like a lightning shape. It makes it look really, really cool. And even the doorway coming out from the locker rooms, the dressing room, is trimmed with lighting as well. So it kind of pops, kind of like when you get ambient lighting behind your flat screen or something. It's really, really cool looking. Go check it out if you haven't seen some of that. Danny B, Ahmad is the future. He's going to step up. I hope so, man. I know he just changed agents recently as well. He's looked really good. I know so many of us were crying out for him. And then when he came in after his injury, he was a baller, man. I was just watching some the Liverpool FA Cup quarterfinal earlier today, actually, and then when I watched the highlights after that, I watched all the Liverpool fan channel reactions. There's like these compilation videos of pretty popular Liverpool fan channels reacting. And oh man, if you're ever having a bad day, just go watch those. Just go watch Liverpool fans reacting to that FA Cup quarterfinal, and you will feel a lot better, because inject that into my veins. Let me tell you, that was awesome. But I love Ahmad. I think he's really good. I was worried a little bit about his size, but I think that his quick feet, his low center of gravity actually is kind of like Messi. He's actually able to keep his balance and ride these tackles very well, and get in and out of these tight spaces. His feet are very, very quick. He gets so many touches on the ball when he's squared up against a defender. It's a nightmare to defend against. He gets so many touches in a few seconds, like you have no idea what's going to happen. And he causes a lot of problems. He gets into the opposition area so fast. He causes so much chaos. I love it. I'm up for it. I hope we can see more of him. What that's going to look like with all the wingers we have, with Rashford, with Garnacho, with Sancho, with Antony, like all these guys are still at the club as of right now. Who knows what's going to happen? Danny B, ball retention is solid, great in possession. He dropped in the mid a lot against Rangers. Yeah, he does that. And I think that's obviously he played as a 10 a lot with Sunderland, but Ten Hag system, it's all about, looking at what your teammates are doing. So when one player moves up, another player is going to drop into midfield. We see Diallo move into midfield a lot. Both our fullbacks move into midfield a lot when we need to. Keeping that shape, getting involved, picking up slack. And that's what I was mentioning about Ahmad the other day. If you want to go back and watch my deep dive video into why we need to keep him, is because of his footballing IQ, because of his reading of the game and his tactical awareness. He knows where to be. He knows when to move, when to stick. He knows what to do. His positioning is superb. And he seems like he's picked up the tactical stuff very, very quickly. I mean, that was in preseason. He's already looked more tactically aware than like Antony has. And again, it's preseason. I'm not trying to read too much into it, but that's not about the opposition. That's about the individual player movement and in relation to tactics. And Ahmad just looks like he gets it. And so say what you want about the tactics of Ten Hag, but Ahmad looks like he's picking it up very quickly. So yeah, Danny, and you know how I feel about that. When you suck player out of position, key to breaking that low block. And that's what I love about him as well. It's what I really liked about Donny van de Beek, because it's the same kind of movement. Donny van de Beek pulls people and defenders all over the place in that box. He's making runs, he's moving, he's showing for the ball, he's moving for the ball, and it's causing problems for defenders, and that's what we want. And that's such an undervalued trait of a striker, I think. Ronaldo was really, really good at it. good at just moving, stopping moving, like causing problems, making defenders second guess, making defenders have to constantly look over their shoulder, not necessarily always because he was like, give me the ball, but because he knows that moving like that is going to pull these defenders all over the place. It's going to create space. It's going to cause chaos and confusion. That's something Rasmus could really do. I like Rasmus's movement in the box, but I think movement in that regard is something he could also add to his game too. So movement, yeah, people will say like Space never scored a goal. Movement, you get praised for not doing anything. It's like I said, it's severely undervalued, that kind of movement, and what it does for your team, what it does to the opposition, especially in the opposition the area in the final third. It's movement. Like, we don't want to have these static players who are just standing there, who like McTominay sometimes, he's just kind of hiding from the ball, kind of doesn't move to make himself an option. Movement. It's like a ship in the ocean. You got to keep moving. You know, don't stop. Just find space, make yourself an option, cause problems. So in any case, that is going to do it for me. Short one today, obviously bonus video today, popping back on, but I did want to stop by and share my thoughts on some of that. Developments that have popped up. Sofyan Amrabat could be available for a big discount. Was that part of United's plan all along? Like I said, I've mentioned it before. I'm not saying I made it happen, but you never know. Swooping for Fofana to kind of throw a spanner in the works on his move to AC Milan. Ugarte looks like we're still haggling. Ligt looks like we're still haggling. Palestri could be out the door. And then we could maybe make a surprise move for Chelsea center back Trevoh Chalobah, who did not join them on preseason. Looks like he's free to go. Chelsea want 25 million. I don't think that it's going to cost that much, but leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, everybody who stopped by tonight. I know it was kind of short notice, but my wife was out of town for like 2 weeks, and so the office where we meet clients virtually is like right next to this room, and so I can't do videos when she's doing stuff. So when there is now that she's home, I have to sneak up here a lot when she is not working in there. So wanted to stop by while I had some time. Wanted to make sure I got your thoughts. I'm glad you guys are here. Glad you guys took some time out to do that. Big up Danny. Big up Vibes. Big up everybody for stopping by today. I really appreciate that. I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. We'll see if tomorrow's Wednesday. By our standards in the last week, it is a slow week, but I think we're going to see some more. Obviously, we fly out tomorrow for preseason, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Big up everybody for jumping on the live chat tonight, and I will see you all on the next one. Have a good one.